Today we need to take a look back at the 2016 24/7 Composite quarterback class and all that's coming up to the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we got to take a look at the 24/7 Composite 2016 quarterback class. Now, there's a few reasons that I want to take a look at this class. Number one is Austin Kendall and Jalen Hurts, along with Justin Herbert and Dwayne Haskins, are all in this class. But more to the point, I got to take about quarterback transfers and quarterback recruits and loading your quarterback room like Oklahoma might be able to do in the future with really talented guys, and how the moving and shaking ain't really as new or as often or as newfangled as we like to think that it is. Starting with this. The number one quarterback recruit in the 2016 class was Shea Patterson. Shea Patterson enrolled, signed, was going to play at Ole Miss, transferred to Michigan. Can't say he's a bust up there. Looked pretty good. Won the starting job. I think that that's okay. That's fine because the number one quarterback recruit in the class is rarely the best quarterback recruit in the class. Hope that that's a little bit different for Oklahoma because Spencer Rattler is the guy at Oklahoma. He's the number one quarterback recruit in the 2019 class. That said, Shea Patterson's still very, very good at playing the position of quarterback. The next guy on the list is Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason signed with Georgia, was going to start at Georgia, and then got usurped by Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm has become one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the FBS with Georgia and has been so good that he ran off the number 2 recruit in the 2018 class in Justin Fields. For his part, Jacob Eason has transferred to Washington, where Chris Peterson knows what to do with quarterbacks. Expect him to compete and win the job and be the starting quarterback there, but jury's still out on Jacob Eason is what I'm saying. 5-star recruit, has all the tools. We'll see what he can do with them. And I bring that up because, as you can see throughout the rest of this, not all these guys live up to what we think they're going to live up to. Number 3, KJ Costello, signed with Stanford, pretty good, ends up okay. I'm fine with that. Then you get to number 4, and you get to Malik Henry. Malik Henry was going to be the most athletic of the bunch. A lot of folks that he should have been the number 1 recruit in this class, that his frame really limited him in as far as just having, what folks think of as a prototypical quarterback size. But Malik Henry also has issues of his own. Temper tantrum, doesn't take instruction, doesn't take coaching, knows a ton about football, but also does not know when exactly to shut up. We saw this on Last Chance U. I love Malik Henry. I really wish that the dude could get himself together, get his life together, because he has the tools to be an outstanding quarterback. What we don't know is if he has the ability to listen to anybody, even his old man. Like, that was one of the storylines throughout that entire show, where you saw a bunch of broken people, really, who needed help, who weren't getting the help that they needed. And Malik Henry, I think he should have played baseball. If you watch Last Chance U, you understand what I mean by that. But being in Independence, Kansas, didn't seem to be doing that dude the kind of favors that it should have been doing him, because he came out looking a mess and looking like the kind of dude who didn't deserve to get any offers because he just hadn't shown anybody that he'd grown up since getting booted from Florida State. The next guy on the list, Felipe Franks, signed with Florida. Florida's a good football team. I'm not sold on Felipe Franks as a great college football quarterback and even a capable pro, but that could still change. We'll see. Florida has been buoyed by its running game and its defense, particularly their defensive line and their linebacking core are really great, and I'm excited to see what that game looks like for them. But look, man, in 2019, Florida could be good. They could challenge the SEC for a title. We'll see, right? But when you get to the next group of guys, you start to see just one that we know is good. Because at number 6, you got Brandon Peters. And Brandon Peters signs with Michigan, was going to be next at Michigan, gets usurped by Shea Patterson. So we still don't know if Brandon Peters is any good. We know that he's a big, strong, tall dude who looks like the kind of guy who should be a quarterback at Michigan, like Tom Brady was the guy. Like, insert any other Michigan quarterback not involved in the Rich Rod renaissance that wasn't, right? They went back to the future, and it didn't work for them. So now they got this Jim Harbaugh look where they get these big, strong, sturdy quarterbacks. Shea Patterson can move. Don't know if Brandon Peters can move. We'll find out. But the jury's still out on that. At number 7, you got Jared Guarantano. 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 I think I got it right. Quarterback Tennessee. But Tennessee's garbage. He ain't very good. He ain't very bad. I guess you could take that at a top 10 dude, but you expect that guy to be competing for all SEC or all something. I don't know what it would be, but I'm not really sold on him being that great a quarterback. Then you get to number 8, Dwayne Haskins. We can all agree Dwayne Haskins was, if not, the best quarterback of this entire class. He's probably going to be the first quarterback taken in the draft because the next guy, who I'm going to talk about later, has pulled his name out of the running for the NFL. It's not really running. He's just not going to declare for the NFL draft early. He's going to play his senior season at Oregon, and we're going to talk about him at some length. Then you go to number 9, you get to Brandon McElwain, who not only signed with South Carolina, washed out, and then transferred to Cal, but was so bad at Cal that they made the man stop playing quarterback and move to playing some version of wide receiver running back. And he's so terrible, and he turned the ball over so much that he couldn't even play quarterback in the Cheez-It INT Bowl, where the record for interceptions in a game was broken. 9 interceptions combined by all the quarterbacks who played, and this dude didn't get nary an attempt. Now, you can make whatever excuse you want to make for that, and people are going to make many, but the fact is, when you're the number 9 overall quarterback recruit, and you go to a place, and then you transfer to a place, and then they say you're not even good enough to play quarterback anymore, that's bad. And then at number 10, you got Jack Allison, who really is just Malik Rozier, but Malik Rozier can move around a little bit better. He's a pocket passer. He's transferred to West Virginia, where Dana Holgorsen took to the podium at Big 12 media days and said, I don't want a guy to transfer and tell me that he wants to come to play for me because he didn't get to play somewhere else. Except that's exactly what Dana Holgorsen has been doing for years. Just talking out of both sides of his mouth on that one, man. Will Grier, transfer. Clint Trickett, transfer. JUCO guys, transferring in. Matter of fact, he just signed the first guy who might get a look for him in Trey Lowe, who Jake Spavital brought in. So yeah, Dana Holgorsen is down with the transfer quarterbacks, and perhaps you get to see Jack Allison play a little bit in the bowl game. We'll see. We'll know. But, again, we don't really know if this dude is worth being called the number 10 overall recruit, even though that's what he's rated. And I get into more of this because to get to Austin Kendall is to see a guy who's rated just above Jalen Hurts in the ratings. And we have lots of statistics to back up that Austin Kendall should be rated this highly, but we still don't know. And is he going to be as good as Jalen Hurts? We don't know. Probably not. Jalen Hurts has already won a national title. He might win another. He's 26-2 as a starter. We know that he bailed out Alabama in the SEC title game. We know what he can do. And we know that his ceiling is close, right? He's not going to be able to do much because he's not a surgeon with the football. He's a butcher with the football. But he's a butcher who can run. And that's what you have to be when you're a butcher. When you're a surgeon, you can just stand back there and nickel and dime and take apart folks like Kyler Murray, like Baker Mayfield. Jalen Hurts just ain't got that. Tua Tagovailoa, he has that. He can nickel and dime you. He can pick you apart. He can hit those tight windows. Jalen Hurts is going to have to beat you with the big home run plays. He's going to have to take big hacks to win. That's why he's a butcher. And you can keep going down this list, and you can see winners, and you can see losers. Ian Book is rated outside the top 500 recruits. We could say that that's a winner for Notre Dame. That dude can absolutely play some quarterback. But then you get to places like number 23 with Terry Wilson and number 43 with Justin Herbert. And I want to take some time to just tell you, this is how I look at quarterback recruiting, and this is how I look at quarterback rooms, especially when you're talking about Austin Kendall and folks transferring in or transferring out like Justin Fields or Jalen Hurts or wherever it is you want to throw in there to be in the mix. You can even just go with the quarterback room as you know it is now with Austin Kendall, Spencer Rattler, and Tanner Mordecai for 2019. Terry Wilson out of Dale City, Oklahoma, signed with Oregon in 2016 to play quarterback for Mark Helfrich. A lot of folks thought he was going to be really great. He enrolled early in March of 2016. They also signed another quarterback to the 2016 class in Justin Herbert. Dude out of Oregon, home state kid, big, strong kid, 6'5", 215, but not highly regarded, not highly recruited, and there's 300 players that separate them in the recruiting rankings. Terry Wilson, 359. Justin Herbert, 659. Nobody really expected much out of Justin Herbert. Now, yes, Mark Helfrich ran a different scheme than Mario Cristobal runs, but the fact of the matter is, one guy was supposed to be a better quarterback than the other guy, given the tool sets, given the measurables. Terry Wilson had to jump on Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert enrolled in June of that year. What happened? Terry Wilson transferred to JUCO, was never thought of, and then ended up in Kentucky, UK, where he really quarterbacked a pretty good football team. Now, the offense wasn't great, and he wasn't absolutely amazing, but he ended up being a starting quarterback at a Power Conference team that is playing in a well-to-do bowl game, right? That's a win for Terry Wilson. That's a win for Dell City. Justin Herbert, on the other hand, developed into what many people believe was going to be the first quarterback taken in the 2019 draft. Mel Kiper had him at the top of his quarterback board. Now, he's not really that good if you ask me. I would like to see Dwayne Haskins or Kyler Murray drafted before Herbert, but I understand. And he was a guy that was being talked about leading into the season, especially after the season that he had last year. And there was lots of talk about whether or not he wanted to play with his brother, who is going to enroll with this Oregon class in 2019. But this is the reason for which you recruit more than one quarterback. Whether you get transfers or you get them in the same class, if you got the scholarships, go get your quarterbacks. Because it's a crapshoot. You don't know that the guy who was great in high school is going to be great at college. And with quarterbacks, you can't afford to be wrong. Because if you got a bad quarterback or you got an inexperienced quarterback and you have assets like the kind that, say, Oklahoma is going to have and does have, returning starters, 5-star recruits at offensive position, you want a quarterback you can trust. You want a quarterback you know is going to do the job well, and you want to give yourself options if you're a coach. You want a quarterback room full of dudes, because some of those dudes might be good. All of them might be good. Chances are it's not going to be true. The chances are one of those 4 in your room is going to be good. One of those 4 in your room, or 5, depending on, you got 5 years to play 4, is going to be good. A lot of them are going to, they're going to end up as duds. Or in the case of a guy like Brandon McElwain, not be playing quarterback at all. And I think that's something to take into account as you continue to go forward, looking at what Lincoln Riley's doing and what we have to say about Austin Kendall and what we have to say about what these quarterbacks will do or how they're going to do it. Because you look at Texas, you can see much the same thing. You know who the number 11 quarterback recruit was in 2016? Shane Buechele. That dude was supposed to be their starter for 4 years, supposed to be their next Colt McCoy. He was not. He's since been usurped by Sam Hard-G Ellingert. Hard-G seems to be their quarterback going forward. He seems to love being Mr. Texas Longhorns football. And Shane Buechele, I think the dude should transfer. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But Shane Buechele was rated more highly than Austin Kendall, than Jalen Hurts, than Terry Wilson, than Justin Herbert. And you would take any one of those guys over what you've seen out of Shane Buechele to date. And I think that is worth thinking about, especially with Casey Thompson announcing that he's transferring from Texas, and with Cam Rising probably ended up transferring from Texas, as Roshan Johnson has just joined the QB room at Texas. So this is just the way that things are done. You look at Missouri, they took in both Kelly Bryant and Sean Robinson. It's just what you have to do now, and it's just a part of the game. And I don't think that we're right to continue to look at quarterbacks as dudes that should be married to the school that they sign with. Because sometimes it's going to work, most of the time it is not. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.